Rabotai, welcome to our Monday night shiur. And we are, by the way, this is Snapple. Really? To all the ones watching live. Just want to put it out there. You don't know who's watching. But it is Snapple. It's Parashat Bo SHOVAVIM. And on Shabbat, this past Shabbat, Jonam, we spoke about something special we're going to do here on Friday. Bezrat Hashem, if I get 10 tzaddikim to gather around for 3 o'clock.
What? In the morning?
God bless you, Avram. In the afternoon. Right before Mincha. Mincha Kitana. But we'll talk about much of that later on. I promised to make a shiur. Technically, it's the third SHOVAVIM series, third part of the SHOVAVIM series for this year. And the first shiur that we had, just to give you guys a little reminder, we talked about how it's important not to talk about this avera in public. Not to talk about it in a dirty way, to keep your mouth clean, you know? To find code words, not to make it so open. It's very important. And we also talked in our first year how, when we were younger, we thought we were going to change the world, this, that, and then we found out we got to change less, then we found out we have to really change ourselves before we go out there. And we ended up with the Sigula in the first shiur. The Sigula, we said that we read from the name of Rabbi Tzion Mutzafi, in the name of the Ari Kadosh, that one of the greatest things that's ma'aleh the nefesh, it brings up the nefesh, when we have 5 parts to our soul, nefesh, ruach, neshama, chaya, yechidah, it's already elementary in this Bet Knesset, is the mikveh. Without a mikveh, a person cannot go up in any parts in Kiddusha. And there is nothing, the Ari told, the Ari Kadosh, he used to go to the mikveh every day. The Rambam, we talked about the Rambam last week. The Rambam says, Miyamai, in my life I never missed Tfilat Ezra. I never missed the Tfilah of Ezra. Ezra was metaken, and every time a person was with his wife, or he had a mission at night, he would go to the mikveh. And it was such a big takana, he couldn't even say Shema Yisrael until he dipped inside the mikveh. He couldn't learn Torah. You couldn't even open up. If a person did this, he had to go to the mikveh the next day. And then the Chachamim later on saw that the Jews couldn't hold it on. But and they canceled it. Why? Because Torah is fire. Torah doesn't get tumah. Even though you're tameh, but the Torah does not get tumah. By the way, there are Chachamim these days that say still you have to. There is still a ma'ala, and the Gemara does say, where's the tzaddik over here? What does the Gemara say? You did it, right? That the Gemara says, if you do keep the Takanat Ezra, even though they canceled it, ma'arichin lo yamav ushnotav. They make your years and your days long.
Wow.
So that means that even though they canceled the Takana of going to the mikveh afterwards, but if you do so, they make your days and your years long. What does that mean, your days long? If your years are long, then what do you need the days to be long? You're not going to make the days even longer, right?
Productive days.
Productive. You have to be productive. Some people, they have very long years, but they're bums. They're couch bums. They're playing a Fortnite and games all day on the thing, right? It's the new thing. Everybody's couch potatoes today.
Yes, the whole world.
But the point is that if a person keeps the mikveh, now I'm going to tell you even more than that. One time I took a person to the mikveh. Back then we used to go to a certain mikveh on 221st Street over there. Yeah, remember that, yeah? And then we went to that mikveh, and the person was not an observant Jew. And he asked me a question afterwards. He told me, he says, Shalom, how come when I come out of the mikveh I feel light? So I told him, because when you go into the hot water, after you come out, it's a bit cool, so you feel a bit light. He told me, no, when I go to the banya, I said, what are you doing in the banya? But when you go to the sauna or whatever they call it, how come you don't feel light afterwards? When you go to the mikveh, he told me, I feel like some kind of load has been taken off of me. So just to reiterate his point, I'm going to tell you a story. A story that happened with the Baba Sali. The Baba Sali, in our days, they like to use this Gemara. The Gemara says, Rebbe mechabed ashirim. Rebbe gives honor to rich people. Rabbi Yehuda Anasi says he gave honor to rich people. He was rich himself. It says that the garbage, the manure his horses had was more valuable than the gold in the Roman Empire. That's how rich he was. He was an extremely wealthy man. Rebbe. But when he died, what did he say? I didn't enjoy in this world like my pinky. Why? Tzadikim have no menucha, lo be'olam hazeh, velo be'olam haba. So Rebbe, it says by Rabbi Yehuda Anasi, that when he passed away, he was suffering very, very, very badly. Why? The Gemara says when a tzaddik usually suffers from stomach pains. Person who's a tzaddik, when he dies, usually suffers from stomach pains. Why stomach pains? The Gemara says it's the harshest pain. Why? It doesn't happen in 1, 2, 3. It's excruciating. Happens slowly, Everyone has suffered some kind of stomach ailment. Is it a fun thing to have stomach pains? It's not a fun thing. Imagine passing away from that. Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, when he was passing away, he had to use the bathroom every 2 minutes. What? Every 2 minutes. And back then, when they used to wear tefillin?
All day.
All day they used to wear tefillin. So imagine he took off his tefillin, went to the bathroom. Now back then the bathroom was in the outhouse, right? So then he would put it back on. Then he had to go again. He would take off his tefillin, put it on. Take off his tefillin, put it on. And the rabbis were praying, may he live a long life. What happened? He had a maid. A maid. Goya or Jew? What do you guys think?
Goya.
What do you think?
Goya.
Goya. He had a maid that was a Goya, but back then they used to have maids. They used to dip in the mikveh, right? Yeah. She went up to the roof and she said, Hashem, a Goya! A Gentile maid. She said, Hashem, don't listen to the rabbi's prayers. Look how he's in pain. Take his neshama already. Wow. Who did Hashem listen to? The chachamim of his generation? The maid. The maid, the Goya. And Hashem took his... She prayed from the neshama. You know why? Sometimes it happens a lot. A person learns from a Rebbe, but they don't want to have a connection with the Rebbe. What do they just want?
They just want
They want the chokhmah of the Rebbe. Those kind of talmidim, they don't have a continuation. Amen. Those students, they don't have continuation. But when a person really feels a connection, even a maid, a Goya, she dipped in the mikveh. But the point is that she really prayed from her neshama. That's the halacha. Evet Kanani has to dip inside the mikveh. She was praying from the neshama. What did Rabban Gamliel say? Gabriel, you're looking at me like that. What did Rabban Gamliel say? It's a famous Mishnah in Masechet Sukkah, right, guys? That his servant was sleeping under the bed, Tavi, right? His name was Tavi. He was sleeping under the bed in the sukkah. Why? There's a machloket in the Gemara. Can you sleep under the bed in a sukkah? What was the whole machloket about? Why? There's something called the sukkah effect. Every sukkot, no matter where you are in the world, it rains. It can be the sunniest place in the world. On Sukkot, at least one day a year, one day of the day it didn't rain. So they used to sleep under there. Because if you experienced in your life one sukkot, where it didn't rain,
it was not sukkah.
Just the opposite. Then you've lived in the greatest generation in your life. Arizona. The great. If the chief said it, then the chief said it. What Arizona? It rains over there too. Don't worry. 3 seconds here, 3 seconds there. So when the person was you want to go to Arizona? We have a Pioneer or whatever. I don't know that thing. It's very cheap, like $40 a ticket. So they have. So they used to sleep under the bed in Eretz Yisrael. Frontier, sticha. You guys know. Kol hakavod. So they used to sleep under the bed. So the Gemara says that Rabbi Yehuda says we used to sleep under the bed in front of the rabbis. Look at this, Rabbotai. This is a shiur within itself. How could Rabbi Yehuda not know that if you sleep under the bed in the sukkah, you're not Yosei Dechovah? You know why? He knew. How could he dare ask his rabbis? Look at the. You hear, Gabriel? Look at the trepidation. The awe from his rebbeim. He didn't ask them if I would sleep. We slept there. That means that it's Yetzei Dechovah. We fulfilled our obligation. What did Rabban Gamliel tell them? My servant Tavi, he's a goy. He slept under the bed inside the sukkah. From here we learned he's a goy. He's patur. That's why he slept under the bed. And the Gemara paskins the halacha from who? From who? From a goy. From Tavi. Do you have a halakha till today inside the... Everyone here keeps this halakha. Whoever sleeps under the bed in a sukkah, if it's more than 10 tefachim, then it's what? If it's less than tefachim, sorry, he's not to say Dechovah. From a goy. You know why? Because the goy respected his rebbe. He respected his rebbe. It's not just about the chokhmah. And this is what I want to tell you, Rabotai. We're talking about Rebbe, this, that, tzika. We're talking about Rebbe and everything and mikveh. But today, in our third series, sometimes people complain from the shiurim. They say, "Oh, you're talking about one," and suddenly you turn into a different masechet. First of all, Torah is not like goyim studies. It's fruitful. You talk about one thing, like Gemara. Suddenly you're in Masechet Shabbat. You talk about Masechet Nida. One of the greatest halachot of Masechet Nida is Masechet Shabbat. Kodashim, Zvachim, Masechet Shabbat. How is this possible? How? Why? Torah is fruitful. There's no shkani. You talk Torah and you stick to the subject. Why? Torah is fruitful. It multiplies. You cannot stick to the same subject. Because everything is what? The same subject. Hafochba, va'afochba, the kulaba. There's no thing sticking to the same subject. But there is still the Masechet's name, right? We're in the SHOVAVIM thing. So we're gonna jump back. So we talked about the mikveh. I'm gonna tell you guys, Rabotai, one thing. Dipping in the mikveh is not enough. Why? The Gemara says if you dip in a mikveh and there is a sheretz, a lizard, a rat, a turtle, one of the 8 sheretzim, any sheretz, really it's midrabanan, any sheretz, and you dip inside the mikveh, you could dip from today till tomorrow, you're still tameh.
If it's inside the mikveh.
Even if you're inside the mikveh, you're in the water with the thing inside your hand, you come out, you're tameh. You understand what I'm saying? Why? Because the sheretz is a chatzitza.
Right.
It's a separation. You understand what I'm saying?
But what if you're in a lake that has all these and you're allowed to do
No, of course, because it has nothing to do with you. You're not in contact with them.
Right.
Understand? The mikveh itself is a place of purification. Right. But if you go inside the mikveh and it's a mashal, and you're dipping inside the mikveh and you're holding a sheretz and you come out, you're tameh. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's the halacha. Sometimes we dip in a mikveh and we're holding a sheretz. Not an actual sheretz, an actual creepy crawly.
Metaphor.
It's a metaphor for what? We think we're doing teshuvah, but we're not really doing teshuvah. Because we didn't leave the avera. If you think you're going to fast, and you're going to give tzedakah, and you're going to do, finish the Tehillim. Once upon a time, there was a guy who wanted to have kids. So they told him there's a sigula to read Tehillim 7 days in a row. Not one book. The whole Tehillim. Every day for 7 days. He said, if you do it 7, because David is malchut, but this 7, 770. So if you do that, then you're going to have a... So I told a guy, I said, did you read Tehillim? He didn't have it. Did you read Tehillim or did you read Tehillim? There was a Rav called Rav Avram Chaim Ades. He died a very horrible death. So they used to pay him money to read Tehillim by sick people's beds in the hospitals. He was a big mikubal, huge. He never allowed anybody to take a picture of him. We don't have a picture of him till today. So he used to read Tehillim, and he used to tell the person, he said, listen, don't think I'm going to finish the book of Tehillim. He says, you're renting me for my time, not for the chapters of Tehillim. Why? There's reading and reading. You're renting me for the quality, not the quantity of Tehillim I'm reading. You understand what I'm saying? It's the quality, not the quantity. Today, we have an issue. Everything is about quantity. Look at the amount of food, the amount of... I don't know if you guys know, the Israeli scientists came out with a way to make water out of thin air?
Yes.
It's old, right?
Yeah.
When I was in they made it in Jerusalem. You know why they did it? There's third world countries in Africa, they don't have water. It's really simple, to tell you the truth. How come we didn't think of it? You know how air conditioner works? You ever see air conditioner? When you make it sucks the heat, and then it condenses the air, and what happens? There's from the AC, there's water comes out. So they just harness that.
Cold and hot.
All they did was harness that. And now there's people out there in third world countries that can't find water. They press a button, out of thin air comes out water. It's unbelievable. But really, it was always there. Imagine if you could harness solar energy. All the energy is really there. Imagine just harness it. You would have everything you wanted, all the battery life you want. You know why Hashem doesn't give it to us? We're not ready for it.
We have solar panels.
That's just the beginning. The solar panel. It's just the beginning. When we come to this kind of, back to what we were saying, when we come to this idea of Tikkun Shovavim, we have to understand, Rabotai, we cannot be tovlim b'sheretz beyado. We must do teshuvah first. And the first step of teshuvah, Rabotai, I say this to the single people and to the married people, you have to be married. To the single people, it's simple, right? Just get married. What do you mean, just get married? But for the married people, what do you mean get married? You could be married but not married. Well, it's called ketuvah. So, if a person is not married, no matter how much he dips in a mikveh, he's going to come out b'sheretz beyado. And this is what I just told you right now, this sentence. This is in the name of the Ari, the Rashash, Rabbi Chaim Vital, all the tzaddikim, dolim v'kedoshim. Why am I saying this? Because in our generation, we have the coronavirus that came out of China right now. We have a coronavirus, but it's a bit subtle. Yeah. No, it's the virus is. It's a destruction of the family life. How are you gonna do tikkun shovavim if you're a plag gufa? Hello, the Gemara says, it's the first siman in Even Haezer, that Nadav and Avihu were sitting on Har Sinai. They ate food and looked at HaKadosh Baruch Hu's countenance. And they died. They brought Ktoret on the day of the Mishkan and they died. And the Zohar doesn't say they're simple people. The Zohar says they're shkulim k'Moshe ve'Aaron. The Zohar says if you cry, we read this in Parashat Acharimot in the Zohar, on Yom Kippur, if you cry for Nadav and Avihu on the day of Yom Kippur, when you read the parasha, Aliyat Kohen of Shachrit of Yom Kippur, you're mitchaper your avonot. You're mechaper your avonot. So what's the problem? Nadav and Avihu were not simple men. So you read the Gemara and they say, oh, they were drunk when they went in. They said, when these two old guys are gonna die, this, that. These are agadot. If you could explain me the agada, the tale of Rabbi Bar Chana when he went in the midbar in the desert. There's a tales in Baba Batra. There's like 7 tales over there. Weird tales. Where Rabbi Bar Chana, he goes to the desert and he sees geese. You know what geese are? Welcome back, by the way. You know what geese? Fat ducks. And there's oil dripping from them. Oil. And he goes under the oil and he sees like weird things over there. Explain to me that. Then explain to me what the Gemara meant about Nadav and Avihu. You cannot come to me explain Agadot. Who are you to explain these Agadot? The Zohar explains it. All the Agadot meant just one thing. They were half a body. If they would have been married, the day of the Mishkan, that day when they brought the Torah in the Mishkan, it would have been accepted. They would have been themselves Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef, even though they were Kohanim, because that has nothing to do with your lineage. Oh, the Rambam says yes, but let's talk about it some other time. It's about the Neshama. And they would have been the source of everything. But how come it didn't work? The Zohar Kadosh says, I'm not making this up, they were not married. When you're not married, you think you're a tzaddik, but you're not. You think you're doing tikkunim, but you're not. You're a plag gufa. So why did Nadav and Avihu think that they could have done it? So there's a secret. If you think they were regular guys, there's a secret behind it. Nadav comes from the Sphira of Netzach. Avihu comes from the Sphira of Hod. In Kabbalah, in the secrets of the Torah, Netzach and Hod is which parts of the body? The two legs. And what do we do in Shmoneh Esrei? What do we do with our two legs? We make them to one. So they said, we're two brothers, we complete one another. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, first get married. So the first step, nun tikkunim of Shovavim, so you say, okay, I'm trying, but it's not happening. I'm going to tell you one thing, and we have to understand this. If you pray, if you really daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's going to happen. There is nothing I remember in a time in my life. I used to say to myself, maybe in Ga'ava, but I used to say to myself, I'm going to daven, it's going to happen. I was so sure. Why? It was emunah. If you have emunah in your tefillah, but at the same time it's dangerous. If you have emunah, it's going to happen. Because, what did I tell you guys on Shabbat and Sudash Lishit? God never changed. That means right here, right now, everywhere that we are in Him. We are, the world is not the place that God is in. The world is in the place, which is who? God. It means we are in Him. That's what it means. The Torah, the Gemara says. Rabbi Yochanan says, whoever does Daf Yomi knows this. Rabbi Yochanan says, Halavai. What's Halavai? Oh, if only a person should pray all day. Such strong, you know who Rabbi Yochanan was? Oh, Rosh Yeshiva Tveria, writer of Talmud Yerushalmi, the greatest, just the greatest. He's the Rambam says he's one of the disseminators of the Torah of all the generations. And what is his thing in the whole Gemara? Halavai, a person should pray all day. I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's a book called Olat Tamid. It was written by Rabbi Chaim Vital, the student of the Ari HaKadosh. In this book, Olat Tamid, it says like this. The main tikkun before Mashiach comes is tefillah. Why? Tefillah is tough. Pay. Lamed, hey, tough pay is Gematria, the wife of the Samech Mem. Lamed Yud, tough. Tough pay, 480. Lamed Hey is La, to her. Also Leah, Imakolel. Leah, what was her power? Who came out of Leah? Kohanim and Mashiach ben David. And Mashiach ben David. That's who came out of Leah. What's the connection between Leah and I don't want to say that senora's name. Yalla. The Bukharian version. Tzaddik, come on. What's the connection? In the Neshama? Do you know Adam had a first wife before Eve?
Yeah.
What was her name?
That was her.
Lamed Yud Tov. She came back in a Gilgul. As who? Leah.
Oh, really?
Wow.
That's the secret.
So she fixed it. What's the problem?
Adam had 2 wives. Yaakov had 2 wives. And I'm going to tell you something deeper. There is one book in the 24 books of the Torah, Nevi'im and Ketuvim. You could be learning it at the same time praying with it. Who's going to say me the answer? Which book is that?
Echad.
Your brother said it.
What is it?
Tehillim. Why? Tehillim is Gematria 485. Lamed Yud Tav. That Senora's name. What's the 5? The 5 books of the Tehillim. So what did the Chachamim say? You don't want to be Tovel, to dip inside the mikveh, b'sheretz beyado. How do you make that tikkun? How do you make that? You got to pray. But you got to learn too. So I'm going to read you something. It's not my words. All these things come from the Chachamim. I'm not smart enough to make this. I'm just an orator. I'm just going to read you something. Yizaher Adam. A person should be careful. You're Jewish. You should know one thing. Every step you make is a picking up of the 288 sparks. Yizaher Adam b'kol yom b'imei SHOVAVIM. In every day of SHOVAVIM. This is practical guidelines. This is the name of the shiur for tikkun of SHOVAVIM. Ligmor Pirkei Tehillim. To read chapters of Tehillim. If you could do, he says over here, 1 book a day. But let's be honest with one another. Okay? If you could do 5 chapters, 5 chapters. 10 chapters, 10 chapters. 15 chapters, 15 chapters. 20. If you could do 1. Do 1. Because we don't understand. David HaMelech poured his neshama in those chapters. And you think he wrote it on his own seicha, chas v'shalom? The Gemara says that Nebuchadnezzar, he wrote a Tehillim. It's boring.
No.
He wrote a Tehillim. What happened? He was gonna sign it, written by Nebuchadnezzar, Saddam Hussein. What happened? The angel Gabriel, once again, you guys are all over the place. He comes and he smacks him on the mouth. Why not? He's writing praises to God. It's a big deal. It wasn't by Ruach HaKodesh. We're not looking for Chokhmot. We're not looking for, you know what Chokhmot is?
Professors.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying right there. That's what he's talking about. We're not looking for professors or Avraham. We're looking for Ruach HaKodesh. Now I'm going to say one more thing. So we talked about Tehillim today. I know we built it up a bit deep, but you know what? Tafasta me'at, tafasta. What does that mean? What's tafasta me'at, tafasta? You grabbed a little bit, you got something. Tafasta meruba, lo tafasta. You want to take, everything all in the same time, lo tafasta. You didn't get anything. If you come out of here with one thing tonight, I say my job is done. Some people, could listen to shiurim their whole life, but they never change. We're just trying to make one difference in our life. One, if you tomorrow read 1 chapter of Tehillim because of this shiur, and you said, for the SHOVAVIM, you said something, I don't know, then I'm telling you, I did my job. But, if tomorrow nobody here does anything, I didn't do anything myself. I want to read you one last thing. One more tikkun of SHOVAVIM. And we still have 3 more weeks. So, yesh zman ledaber yoter. There's still time to speak more about this. And I'm telling you guys, Rabotai, I'm telling you guys one thing. You're telling me, oh, okay, you told me to read Tehillim. You told me to dip in a mikveh. What did you already tell me? Guys, I used to think like you. Ribono shel olam. But I'm telling you, there is a guy that dips and there is a guy that dips. There is a guy that reads Tehillim, and there is a guy that reads Tehillim. You want to know how to read Tehillim? Look at a person who cannot get married. How he reads Tehillim. That's how you have to read Tehillim. Look at a person who wants to have children. How they read Tehillim. That's how you're supposed to read Tehillim. Look at a person who wants Kiddusha. How he dips in the mikveh. That's how you're supposed to dip in the mikveh. One more tip, and I'm gonna let you guys go. This is a simple tip, and this is a tip of mamash. It's Kiddusha. I'm telling you right. These are small things that people miss. This is Yirat Shamayim right here. I was doing the Daf Yomi of yesterday, and I learned over there. It says over there, such a beautiful thing. It says over there, a person who has Yirat Shamayim, the whole world was meant for him. That means halavai, one person should have Yirat Shamayim. Halavai. Of course, we all have Yirat Shamayim, but all the time. All the time. And you could live a regular life like that. You don't have to change anything, Today, Baruch Hashem, Zachinu, every other person comes out with a thing, with a video, with a this, with a YouTube, with a Instagram, I don't know, Twitter, I don't know, something he comes out with, and he makes people scared, this, that. But I don't listen to these things. It's all shtuyot. It's all nonsense. All these things are nonsense. People are trying to make you scared. They're trying to take you off the focus. What are you supposed to focus on? But the Gemara already says, "Harotze linatzel migog umagog yasog b'torah ubegimilut chasadim." You're better than the Gemara. You're not. So just be osek b'torah ubegimilut chasadim. What's the problem? But people go crazy. Why? Because we enjoy the unknown. We enjoy the politics. We enjoy the fanfare and the shtusim behind everything. Chaval. We lose focus. We're losing focus. Well, one last thing, I'll let you go. It's also a hanhaga for tikkun SHOVAVIM. Small things, besides ta'aniyot, sigufim. We don't want to be tovel b'sheretz beyado. Yizaher Adam. Person should be careful. Shelo yitra'em ala hanaga elyon. Don't complain to God. That's a tough one and it's a simple one. Don't complain to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Afilu be'et sheba'im alav yisurim chas v'shalom. Even if you have suffering chas v'shalom, yisurim coming up, don't complain. Ein anu ki ein anu yod'im cheshbonot shamayim. We don't know the cheshbon, the calculations of shamayim. V'godel schar adam. We don't know the reward that's waiting for the person. Habolem piv, that shuts his mouth. B'shat sa'ar v'tzara, at the time of suffering. Ve'ino matir devarim kelafei mala, and he doesn't answer things back to Hashem. Ve'chen hatomech be'oto adam ve'ozer lecha letzom mitzayot. You see a person in pain and you give him a good word. What does the Gemara say? A person who gives tzedakah gets 6 berachot. The person who says him a good word gets 11 berachot. Scharo gadol, that person's schar is great. A good word, Rabotai. I was in the elevator today in my building. I'm moving to the other side, and there is a lady over there. She's an interesting fellow. I don't know if you could say fellow, but I think in the English in England they say that. Character. So she's an interesting character. So she tells me. So I tell her, "Oh, you're getting new neighbors." She's Jewish. She's Bukharian, Jewish. So she says, "Oh, I'm very upset." I said, "Why? You always tell me hello when you see me." She's upset that I'm leaving because I always tell her hello when I see her. She says, "Nobody tells me hello." Do you see, Rabotai? You think I say it because it's just a thing. When I was growing up, my parents always said, "You say hello to people when you see them." You think I meant something? You have to say hello to a person. Rabbi Yochanan in the Gemara, remember Rabbi Yochanan? Rabbi Yochanan, you say hello to people. Even Goy. Salami alaikum. Okay? Shigorem la... I know. V'gorem la'asiyat shalom ben Yisrael aviyim sheshamayim. And he makes shalom between people, between us and Hashem. Leval yitorenu al matzam chale. You should not complain what you do. With this, I leave you, Rabotai, with another 2 tips I left you tonight. And these are 2 tips. Don't think I'm making this stuff up. Back in the day, I thought we have to do first. We gotta take the sheretz, Gabriel. We gotta take the rat out of our hands. We have to strengthen our midot, strengthen our kelim. We have to make ourselves stronger. Or else, no matter how much you dip, you're still the same person. You come out, you'll feel lighter, but 5 minutes later, it's gone. We have to make ourselves stronger. And may Hashem be mizakeh otanu, b'ezrat Hashem yitbarach, legeula shelema, geula amitit, לזיווגים הגונים, ברכה והצלחה, ישועות גדולות, וכן יעשו ונאמר, אמן, רבי חנן.